What's going on, guys? Jack here, and today we're going to be talking with Phil from the Money Game YouTube channel, and we're going to be talking about his Redbubble experience and how he got to where he is today. But really, we're going to ask him some questions and talk about his views on Redbubble and how he looks at his Redbubble progress, his Redbubble goals, where he came from, when he started, and all that goodness. So if you want to know more about that, stay tuned for the rest of the video and go and show Phil's channel some love. Go comment on his video that will be linked down in the description and on the screen right now of him interviewing me too. And with all that being said, let's get on to the video. Alright, what's up, guys? Today we are joined by Phil from the Money Game YouTube channel, and we are going to be talking about some Redbubble stuff. We're going to be asking Phil some questions. And what's up, Phil?
What is up? Good to be on the channel, Jack, and I just want to say how you're doing, how you're progressing. It's really inspiring, even to me. Like, I love your work, work ethic.
Thanks, man. All right, so first question, Phil, and you probably get this asked a lot, but when did you first get started with Redbubble? So how long ago, time frame wise?
So I started, it was towards end of 2019. So my first account was created, the exact date, I think it was November 26th. And I think I uploaded maybe 4 things on that date, but yeah, the shop didn't start to move till later on in December. So yeah, it was towards the end of 2019.
So it's been over a year then now, right?
Just over a year, yeah.
That's awesome. All right, so I guess it's kind of a big jump, but from starting, at what point after you started did you realize like this Redbubble could be like a full-time thing?
Well, I didn't realize it straight away. So when I first started, to be honest, when I first started, I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to make designs. I'm going to make money quick. That's not how it was.
Yeah.
And I had to kind of reprogram my mind to think long term. And then after doing that, kind of took away stress from me. And then I started noticing a lot of my designs started catching traction. And that's when I started to think, this could be more of a long-term thing if I scale it. So yeah, I then went to scale it, and yeah, the rest is history.
The rest is history. So, did you dive right into print on demand when you first discovered Redbubble? Kind of like when you first heard about it?
I guess I can say yeah. One trait about me is that I can get a bit obsessive over something. If I start learning something new, I get so involved. So it was a matter of, watching YouTube videos, jumping into Facebook groups, and from the things that I was seeing on videos, from the posts I was seeing in Facebook groups in regards of how other people are doing, that's what made me, jump in pretty much head first and then run with it.
That's awesome. I just think when you get into something, especially like Redbubble or print on demand, like an online business model, and you really get going, it just kind of builds up, and then it just makes you want to do more, right?
Exactly. And it's fun as well. It's really fun.
Yeah, it is fun, especially when you enjoy designing. It's definitely a blast. All right. So in terms of sales now, how long did it take you to get to your first 100 sales after you joined Redbubble?
I would say 3 weeks to a month. So I got to my first 100 sales really quickly.
Wow.
So yeah, I think it was within by the end of my first month. So yeah, do you know what? I'll say 5 weeks to be precise.
5 weeks. Wow, that's actually good. That's crazy. That's
I started during Q4 of 2019, so the sales would have been coming in a lot quicker than they would do at other times of the year.
Well, that's awesome. I guess that you think that skyrocketed your designs a bit, kind of give them some traffic to push them into the next year even?
Yeah, and it kind of started to help me see what was working and what methods to follow to kind of keep that moving forward, if that makes sense.
Yeah, for sure. That's awesome. All right. And what do you think your favorite shop would be to run now that you've kind of been on Redbubble for a while, in terms of niche or general shops?
Oh, that's a hard question. I like both.
Yeah.
I mean, niche stores are pretty cool because with some of the niche stores I work with, they're somewhat linked to my own interests, so they're fun to work with. But with the general
Yeah.
stores, I see the most random things selling on there.
Yeah.
So it's 50-50. But for someone who wants to do this long term, I would say always start with the general store and then go
Yeah.
to a niche store.
Yeah. Do you often open up like new stores, niches, like when you kind of get bored or just like think of something new?
Not really. The only thing that would make me open a niche store is if I notice that on my general store,
Oh
there's a
yeah.
niche that's now starting to
Hmm.
explode that wasn't exploding before. I mean, if it's getting so many sales, that would then push me, kind of force me to open a
Yeah.
new
Yeah.
store. But
Exactly.
besides that, I wouldn't usually do it now.
Yeah, that's also the power of like a general store starting out can like transition into a niche store because you'll make like 20 designs in a bunch of different niches and all of a sudden you have like 500 designs and you find like you got like some best sellers in just a certain niche. Like that even
Exactly.
happened for me and I have not even opened up like a niche store yet. But like I'm starting to get like consistent sales in niches and like I kind of have an idea of some niche stores and like I'm definitely looking into that for sure.
Oh, that's that. What I always say is definitely the next step, because then that
Hmm.
way you have pretty much two streams from Redbubble. You're not just
Yeah.
having one shop. When it gets to the end of the month, you're seeing obviously two shops paying out, which is always
Yeah,
nice
that's
to
way nice.
see.
All right, here's the big question now of this interview, and it's going to be in regards to the recent events in Redbubble of the tag spamming, which I'm sure pretty much everyone in this, like on this channel watching this video, will know about the
Oh,
problem of tag spamming. If you don't, there'll be a link to Phil's video in the description. But uh, what do you think in terms of tag spamming, and do you think it's affected your shops recently, like quite heavily at all?
well, firstly, I just want to say it's kind of annoying that it's a thing. It's
Hmm.
something they can
For
easily
sure.
fix, and I don't know why they do that. And for me, with my shop, so I have at the moment I'm running 5 shops. 3 of them
Yeah.
are somewhat established, 2 of them are fairly new-ish. So for the
Mhm.
3 established ones, it doesn't really affect them, mainly because those shops are making Redbubble money. So the designs on those shops are pretty much being kept on the first or second page.
Yeah.
So the tag spamming isn't even removing any of those designs because they've got sales. But for the newer shops, it's a lot harder to get things to rank on the first page,
Yeah.
which is fairly annoying. So let's say, for example, where 40 to 50% of my designs would usually pop up on the first page, now it's dropping to maybe 20%.
Wow.
So it really is taking effect. That's why I
Mhm.
can feel for people that are starting out with Redbubble that are struggling to
Yeah,
get
for
anything to
sure.
show up at all.
I really hope they do, fix that and take some more like action to actually solving the problem as soon as possible. Because I mean, even me, I'm posting new designs every day, so I want them to get seen as much as possible too. But especially for someone who doesn't
Exactly.
have like any sales or like just a few sales, they don't have like nearly as much chance to get repeat sales or to even start like a snowball almost. Because like I feel like that's
Exactly.
that's a lot of it with Redbubble. You get one sale and you can kind of rank higher and higher. But if there's tag spammers, it makes it a bit harder for sure.
Oh, it's something like I said, they can easily fix it, but they're making so much money from what they're doing, so they don't see it as a problem, which
Yeah,
is really unfortunate.
for sure. Hopefully they do soon though. All right. Third last question of this interview, and it's going to be what are your print on demand goals for this year, 2021?
Oh, that's a good question. So, in regards of 2021, I want to make sure that all of my shops are established because only three
Yeah.
of them at the moment are doing really well, bringing in consistent
Yeah.
sales. The 2 smaller ones, like one it's pretty much got to a point where it's getting sales every day. The other one, it's sales every other day. So I want those to be established, and
Yeah.
if I can get those smaller shops each to at least 1,000 designs, then I mean that'll be good enough for me.
That's it's pretty 1,000 designs each for the new shops, eh?
It's not easy. I mean,
No.
now I'm kind of automating things a little bit, so it's a bit easier. But
Yeah.
I still need to either make the designs or find people that can,
Yeah.
make the designs that I want.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's still a little bit of a job.
Yeah, and especially in a niche shop, 1,000 designs is like it's a little bit hard because you gotta think of new things. You
Oh,
gotta innovate a bit, right?
Exactly.
All right, second last question. If you could give a piece of advice for someone just getting to Redbubble who might be discouraged, all things aside, and when they're seeing no sales or they're seeing like few sales, what kind of advice would you give someone in that position?
I'll give you advice that I gave myself. Don't expect a sale for 3 months. That
Yeah.
is the mindset
Yeah.
that allowed me
That's
to
a
keep
good one.
moving forward. And
Yeah.
then the sales started coming in quicker than I expected.
Yeah.
And when you do that, everything pretty much seems like a win. If you get a sale after 2 months, you'll be happy because you'll be like, wow,
Yeah.
I've done it quicker than I expected.
Yeah.
So yeah, just have patience.
Yeah, I think that's actually great because it's like you almost don't feel disappointed or discouraged nearly as often. So you're just gonna plug away and like you're gonna get more done in the long run, I think. So yeah, I really like that advice.
And you definitely have a lot more designs by the time 3 months comes compared to someone who wants a sale in a month. They'll make like 50 designs and then become demotivated and not really do much.
Yeah. All right. Any last comments before we go, Phil, for the channel here? Anything to say?
Firstly, I want to say thank you for having me on.
No problem.
It's a pleasure to be on your channel. And secondly, I just want to say to anyone who's watching, if you're having any problems with Redbubble at all, always remember it's important to plan what you want to do before you do it, and then to have patience alongside that, and eventually everything will work itself out.
That's great. Thank you so much for coming on, Phil. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.
Peace.